So, one good thing so far, I actually remembered to hit the record button, so yeah. Hello, and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm Searanex, clocking in with my good friend 9 of 12. How you doing today?
Peachy keen.
That seems to be a very common thing for you to say at the beginning of this. Uh,
Well, because it comes from like Death says it in Sandman, so it's a thing.
Okay. Yeah, Zach is not feeling well today, so he's going to be sitting out, but we still got the two of us, ready to rock, talking about another spooky game. Not necessarily scary, but spooky nonetheless, just theme-wise, so deal with it. So, how have you been doing the last couple weeks? How have games been treating you the last couple weeks?
Games. Well, I had something I never had in Pokemon Go, and I've been really enjoying the Halloween event.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty spiffy. And I hatched another one, actually. I hatched a Larvitar today.
Yeah.
And so, that's been... I'm excited by Pokemon Go. And going out to see my friends,
Yeah.
that play. And one of my Pokemon Go crew that we go to all the raids together brought me 2 big bags of costume for my Halloween project where I'm the Halloween fairy. And I take all the
Yeah.
homeless kids. Oh man, we had so many costumes. We got all the requests fulfilled this year and extras from them to pick from. I dropped them off yesterday, so I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah. So, to people
But
actually...
I still don't have the stupid horseman.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. Like my husband and I
Yeah.
run every day, and it's the horseless headsman we call him at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, even when I played, I don't think I ever actually got him. But
My
I
husband's
haven't
been trying for I think 8 years on several
Wow.
characters every time, every day.
Wow. Yeah, that's yeah, RNG.
Like I'm
Yeah,
afraid to go with him now. I haven't been playing as long as he has. I was like, I'm gonna get it, and he's just gonna lose his mind.
yeah, that seems just about right. Yeah. After trying to get it for that long, and someone who hasn't even been playing for as long as he has all of a sudden gets it, yeah, I could see that happening. But yeah, then again, he's been apparently trying to get it for longer than I even played. So I think I only played for about 7 years. Yeah, only 7 years. Oh, yeah. So people who pay attention to our YouTube channel as well, we kind of missed part-time gaming last week. Well, let me rephrase that. We didn't miss it. We played a game. We played like almost an hour and a half of Left 4 Dead 2, where we died a bunch. We never even completed the campaign because we played it on a higher difficulty. But I found out something kind of important about my whole system here. Uh, Videos tend to record a whole lot better when you actually remember to hit the record button before you start. So, yeah.
And super sorry to your friend, our special guest star, who now does
Yeah.
not get to be a YouTube presence.
Yeah. Yeah, we had one of Zach's younger brothers joining us for our fourth, and he was the one carrying the team really, and yeah, it was still a lot of fun. Glad we got to play, but it like as soon as I opened up the file, the folder, and saw no video in there, I was like, oh crap.
I swear. I need to just, I mean, the thing to do is to create redundancy in the situation. I should
Yeah.
hit record on my end just in case.
Yeah. Well, under normal circumstances where I'm not having a complete and utter brain fart, it's not a problem. But it's just I'm working. I have two baby girls. I'm married, and Yeah, and it's just
Hey,
brain
those
fart.
things happen. They
I
do.
know, I know. I'm trying not to get too worked up about it, but yeah, just all that to say that it was entirely my fault that we missed part-time gaming last week. So, but anyways, I actually remembered to hit the record button. So we're actually people are actually going to be able to hear this, which is nice. Uh, anyways, with that, we can go ahead and jump into our water cooler talk. So, what did you bring to for us today?
The Steam sale started on the 26th. It's the
Sweet.
Halloween sale. So I think this is cool. It's almost like we got a bonus Halloween, right? Because the last one was also a bunch of Halloween games. That's how we got some of the ones
Yeah. Well,
that we're
we got it
playing.
from we got it from a humble bundle.
Oh, right. It was a humble bundle.
Yeah.
Well, oh, that makes sense because some of the games are the same.
Yeah, like Dead by
So now,
Daylight, Alien
yeah,
Isolation.
Alien Isolation. But I
Yeah.
was looking, the Amnesia collection, which is normally $34.99, is on for $349.
Wow.
That's pretty brilliant. Alien Isolation $11.99, Darkest Dungeon $9.99, Darksiders 2. I'm not familiar with that.
I've
That
played the
sounds
original
fun.
Darksiders, and I really enjoyed it. But
And Dead by Daylight is half off. We got that in the bundle though, right?
yes, we did.
And
Uh,
Doom, which I
yeah.
can't play Doom. Doom makes me throw
Well,
up.
I could probably play it, except my computer would scream at me. So
Yeah. Friday the 13th, Inside. Limbo is 85% off. You get Limbo for $1.49. Night in the Woods, Prey. And of course, there is a link in the article on Polygon to check out the rest of the Halloween sale page. There are also some VR and movie deals.
awesome. I'm actually looking at the list right now, and there's actually a really good selection of games. Oh, one of there's one game in here in particular that I've played before that I don't have anymore, but is still I think considered like one of the best like incomplete games. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh, I almost have to get that. I'm a big Vampire the Masquerade fan in real life.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean
and Resident Evil, Plague Inc. That's a
yeah,
great game. That's 674. The sale only goes till November 1st. So
yeah,
by the time you hear this, hurry up.
yeah,
Castlevania 2. Yeah, a
yeah.
lot of really good games in this.
There is a lot of really good games
Death
in
Road
this.
Canada. Death Road to Canada.
Yep, I've seen this one
What?
played. It actually looks really funny. It's got the whole 8-bit aesthetic. Oh, it's just
Oh
like
my god.
survival. So
My
it's
husband's Canadian. I have to almost get this for him.
yeah. I
So
mean
the
it's a
VR I'm looking at, I don't see anything really familiar, but I'm not up on the
oh
VR.
oh man. My actually one of the things I forgot to mention was my one of my friends actually has a bought an HTC Vive, and I got to play a little bit of it. Went over to his place yesterday and got to play a little bit of it, and it's actually a really cool experience. But I kept on suggesting a game to him called Duck Season, and it's actually one of the games that's on sale. Uh, Granted, it's only $17 instead of 20, but still, it's a little bit on sale, and that is actually a really interesting game to watch.
Movies are good too. They have Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 for those of us that love those classics.
Yeah,
I've never seen movies on Steam. This is a new thing. I didn't know they did this.
yeah,
But Plan 9 from Outer Space, yes.
yeah. These are a lot of movies that I will probably never watch.
Well, there's a nice variety too. I mean, they have hillbillies in a haunted house, so that's going to be just silliness.
Yeah.
I like those
Uh,
sort of movies too. We watched one the other night. We've been watching horror because it's that time. And
well,
what was
they have the riff tracks one of the riff tracks on here too. Oh, a couple of riff tracks actually. Nice.
Yeah. So good sale. Take a look.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good games on here, spooky games, and yeah. Oh, they even have the oh wow, the Five Nights at Freddy franchise bundle for 735.
Yeah, looks
Wow.
like all of them. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, check that out before the first, and get some spooky games. All right, and the article that I brought today, I mentioned probably sometime last month, after I think it was Gamescom or whatnot. It might have been EA. I don't remember which one it was, but one game that really sticks in my head for as part of my childhood is Dragon Ball Z. I mentioned probably last month there's a fighting game that's going to be coming out called Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and it has a release date, and it will be officially coming out on January 26th of 2018, and it'll be out on PlayStation 4, Windows, and Xbox One. They also revealed some more characters, and that there's going to be even more characters after it's released on DLC. They have 8 more fighters that are going to be coming as DLCs. So I'm still kind of stoked about this game. It From what I've seen, it looks like just a solid 2D fighter, and it's set in the Dragon Ball Z universe. So that, like I said, that's my childhood, and yeah.
Well,
Um,
goodness, it had to be super important to you because BlizzCon is happening before we record again, and
oh
you're not talking about Blizzard
well,
things.
there's nothing really to reveal about, just that Blizzard is happening, or BlizzCon is happening. They haven't really had any reveals yet. So once we get past BlizzCon, then we're probably going to have a bunch of news. But oh yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
beforehand
I
there's
mean, there are a few tidbits that I haven't bought the virtual yet, but I am still toying with the idea.
yeah, as,
Um, Christy Golden's going to be there,
yeah.
and I really, really like the books of hers I've read in that universe, and she actually works for Blizzard now, so I'm sure those will be fantastic panels she's on. And it was announced, it was put on the calendar that the Instance podcast is being recorded live on a stage
Hmm.
at BlizzCon.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I think you mentioned that. Yeah, I think you might have actually mentioned it last week during part time gaming that didn't get recorded. But
Yeah, well, now
yeah.
it's recorded, and because I'm super excited, and like, I don't know if is that stupid? I like buy a virtual ticket because I just want to see that
No,
live at
I don't
BlizzCon.
think that's stupid at all. I really don't.
Like, it's one thing to be a fan of like the games, be a fangirl, but like I'm a fangirl of podcasters. It's like a new level of loser.
No, I completely disagree with you. You remember when you had Garrett Weinzierl on uh, Geek Grills, and
Mm.
like mentioned me and then told me about it and how I geeked out about that?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just a matter of like, who do you respect and who's important to you. So I mean, Scott Johnson and everyone in the instance and everything is important, and yeah, that's all. So
Did I tell the cool story from Nerdtacular about when my son sent me the picture of the candy?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm at BlizzCon and I'm right in the front row because I'm like sneaking and taking selfies with Ghostcrawler was there.
Yeah.
And then my son randomly, who didn't realize I was at Nerdtacular, came across a box of World of Warcraft movie themed Mike and Ike's, and and he takes a picture and he texts me. He's like, haha, look what I found. So I text him back a picture of me and Ghostcrawler. I'm like,
Haha, look what I found.
and then me and Russell Brower and
Oh, jeez. Man, I'm hoping someday when I actually have the money to go that they're still doing BlizzCons and such, and I'll be able to make it. Or nerd. Well, they're not doing Nerdtaculars anymore, are they? Was that technically their
well,
last one?
it was the this is the last one, but there's kind of this caveat of in this way, in this
Okay.
format. There's
Yeah.
been a little chatter here and there about he'd like to go more places instead of spending so much time, Scott Johnson, that is, organizing this thing. And
Yeah.
so I think we'll probably see him. Maybe we'll see him at Dragon Con. Maybe we'll see him at Comic Con the Round or something,
Mm,
or
that'd be
TwitchCon,
awesome.
because now TwitchCon apparently was quite a thing,
Yeah.
because of the growth that has had. It was some interesting talk about that this week, and because it's this young crowd. It's just all crazy on Twitch, and then I've been here since Justin TV, and then listen to people like Jury and Scott, and be like, we've been doing this since we had to figure out how to do it. There wasn't any of that, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Before there
yeah,
was actually services that allowed you to do it, we were doing this.
yeah, and then it makes me feel old, you know, like people on
Yeah.
Reddit, and like, "Rrr," I'm like, yeah, yeah. Do you know what a BBS is?
Yeah. Speaking of Twitch, I've actually been seriously considering starting to do like streaming or something, but I've just tried to figure out all of that stuff and financial situations and everything. But
You know, if we live stream our game night, Twitch would back up your recording.
touche.
So there's that.
Yeah. Well, at some point we need to sit down and actually get like the Discord video working the way I hope it would, so that way we can get all of our video on there, not just mine. That's really what I want to do
Yeah,
for
and
a
strangely, mine works.
live stream.
Mine, the Discord video works on my Mac now that I actually have it as well. But
Yeah,
it doesn't work on the PC.
interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, we'll have to figure it out. Anyways, since we've already gotten sidetracked by a bunch of different other things other than the articles, I guess we can go ahead and move on. But before we go back to work, I just wanted to promote our Patreon. We do have one. It is at patreon.com/parttimegamers. And if you enjoy what you hear, what you watch when we do our part-time gaming, when we actually remember to record it, you can stop there and just give us what you think we deserve. You can also help us out with by giving us 5-star reviews on iTunes or by just subscribing to our YouTube channel. Anyways, with that, we can go ahead and get back to work. And continuing our spooky game theme for this month, we are going to be talking about the game Mysterium. And yeah, it's a very, very interesting game. Not necessarily scary, but the elements of it are definitely Halloween themed, which is nice. It is, and I'm probably going to butcher these names. It is designed by Oleksandr Novsky and Oleg Sidorenko, and published by Asmodee Games. There is a tabletop version of this on Amazon for $49.89, and there is a digital version of it, which is the one that we got on Steam. It's only for Windows though, so it's not for Mac. But it's only $10, which is much more accessible than almost 50 for the physical version. That being said,
Is it 49.99 or 42.89? Because you said 49.99, but
yeah, it's
the,
the base game is $49.99 if you get, I believe, off their official website, but you can I found it on Amazon for $42.89.
is it Prime?
I don't know. I didn't check that.
Okay, I'll check. Just look at
Okay.
just you know,
Yeah.
I like Prime. It's my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. That being said, with the digital version, there is it is a very faithful port of the game and makes it a lot more accessible. You're able to play it online. But to really get the real experience, I think you do need to play a tabletop with your friends and actually be able to sit across the table from the people that you're playing with. I think that really adds to the experience because of the abstract nature of the game. But
I
speaking of which,
think
well,
a happy medium. I mean, if you're playing it in the online version, I think if you're in Discord or in some kind of voice chat would make all the difference to add to
yeah,
that.
I
It
agree.
would give that back and forth that it does need.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. But Mysterium is a cooperative deduction game for 2 to 7 players. and it is a cooperative game. There is a little bit of asymmetry to it though. One of the players is playing as a ghost of a murder victim. The rest of the players are playing psychics who are getting visions from this ghost. And the ghost, believe it or not, kind of tropey, but believe it or not, in the official book, the ghost has amnesia and is trying to figure out through these different visions and stuff who actually killed him. So, but the object of the game is for the psychics to determine who is the killer, where did the murder take place, and what item was involved. And they do that by trying to interpret the ghost's intentions via these very abstract vision cards. So, if to people who have played a couple different kinds of games, this game is basically a kind of smashed combination of the game Dixit and Clue. So for anyone who's played those games, you probably have a good idea of kind of what this game entails. But for those of you who don't, we'll continue on. The setup, it has step by step instructions and all that jazz. But the key points are the difficulty of the game is actually determined by how many of the psychic cards are laid on the table during the game. So for example, if you for example, let's say you have 3 players and you're doing it on easy. Then you would have five of the cards on the table. So 5 character cards, 5 room cards, 5 item cards. But it can get pretty difficult. The higher the difficulties, the more cards you have, the more difficult it is to try to narrow down which card the ghost is trying to get you to choose. So that's where that difficulty aspect comes into play.
I think it might help to clarify that the player cards are each. The story aspect would clarify this, I think. Each player is a psychic of some sort.
Yes.
And yeah, that you're getting clues. Kind of that's how it compares to Clue. I haven't played the other game.
Dixit.
Dixit. I have not played that, but I understand the format. Similar to Clue in that, you're looking for who did it and where and with what.
Yes.
But the players themselves are basically psychics sitting around having a seance and getting clues from the ghost.
Yes, exactly.
So that's those psychic cards you referred to. Those are clues.
Yes, those are the cards that actually have the pictures of the suspects, the rooms, and the items, and that you have to try to figure those out. The cards are, for continuing on with the setup, the cards are shuffled, then a number corresponding to the difficulty chart in the book are drawn. The ghost has their own deck that has copies of each of these cards as well. They pull the corresponding cards. Each one has a number on the back of it, and the ghost draws those corresponding cards from his own deck. And then the ghost actually chooses from the cards that he has now which player gets which suspect, room, and card. And he does that secretly behind. Normally, for the tabletop version, he actually has this screen or whatnot that he has little pockets that you can slide the cards into. And once you get everything set up that way, what that ends up doing is each player has their own series of suspect, room, and item cards that they have to try to figure out. So if you're playing with 4 players, one of them's the ghost, you would have 3 complete sets. So you'd have 3 suspects, 3 rooms, 3 items. Burped. Excuse me. Have to have one in each.
Yay! Yeah, geez. Oh wow.
That would be basically like the free square on a bingo card for our show. Anyways, so yeah, each player has their own series of each of those 3 cards. Now, the game takes place in 2 phases. The first is the reconstruction of the events, and this is really the clue aspect of the game, where each round the ghost has 7 vision cards in their hand. They have to give these vision cards one or more. There's no defined number of vision cards you have to give to each player. So you can give one to each player, or 5 to 1 player if you wanted to, as long as you have the cards. And each of those players has to use that card to try to interpret which suspect, room, or item is relevant to them in their own series. And you do go in order. So first you start with the suspect, then once you figure out the suspect, then you go to the room. Once you figure that out, then you go to the item. Once you figure that out, you wait until everyone else is finished. So this is really the interesting part of the game, is this what makes it similar to Dixit, is these vision cards. Because they're not really, they're fairly abstract. They're kind of like things that you would see kind of in dreams, which is, the whole theme of it. So it's like some of them, like one of them is this, it looks a like a river, a red river going through this white area, and there's like mechanical things just kind of coming out of the river. A lot of them are just kind of abstract like that. Like one of them is this this vague looking garden with a fountain in the middle of it, and you have to try to use these cards to tell the players which cards are relevant to them. So I think
I
that's a very
love,
interesting.
yeah, I love that. That was something that I found incredibly creative and intriguing about this game, about how it includes this abstract thinking for one thing, trying to relate, you're trying to say something mundane. You're trying to say a rope because that was like the murder weapon. But you have just all these bizarre visions is all you can as the ghost give to people as a clue. And you have to figure out what they're going to think when they see that picture and try to get as close as you can. I find that really, really interesting way to play. And for the social aspect of if you know the people or you're getting to know how they think, because even when they guess wrong, maybe the next time you can pick something like, oh, they're a very literal thinker. I'll use something more direct. You know, I thought that was fantastic. I saw this game got a lot of high reviews and rewards when it came out, and I think that's probably why the creative aspect of something so simple is it's kind of like Clue, except you have to think in an abstract manner instead
Yeah.
of just deductively.
Yeah, so it's very interesting in that aspect, and like you were saying with the social aspects, trying to figure out like what aspect of these vision cards does each player really resonate with. And it's like, are they a color person? Are they an object person? Are they a concept person? And trying to figure out, it's like, okay, this card has a lot of red in it. The item that I want them to get has a lot of red on it. Let's go with that. Or okay, this one has like a mechanical spider thing, and this suspect has a watch on their card. And it's like, which is mechanical. It's it's kind of conceptual that way. So it's
But the
that
other
whole
guy has a
aspect.
hammer, and so yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it really makes you think outside the box. Which yeah, that's probably the biggest draw of this game. Um,
and that it's cooperative. I don't think we
yes,
stressed that enough in the beginning. Like you're not playing against each other. You are together trying to come up with enough best answers. And um, the whole you can try to say, no, no, I don't think you're right. And then if they're not, you get a little like you can get more cards later and more clues because you're more intuitive, even if you
yeah,
guessed wrong.
yeah,
So you really
and
have to cooperate, or you're going to end up with the scenario just being wrong in the end.
yeah. And actually, going off of what you said, that is one of the other mechanics of the game, is with the clairvoyance tokens. What you can do is when a player chooses one of their character, either the suspect, the room, or the item, or whatever, the other players have access to these clairvoyance tokens. One has a check mark, one has an X. They only get 2 of each during the game. Until that's another thing, is there you have to do all of this within 7 rounds. Uh, you have to get to the last phase of the game before the seventh round. Otherwise, you just lose because you just ran out of time. But
Yeah, the clock's broken. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, isn't
which
that like a weird dynamic there? It's just like
that
it's a
I think
clock, but just half of it's missing, so you only get to seven and it's
yeah, you
broken.
get 1 through 7 instead. But I thought that was a really cool design choice for the game. But
It
I'll
looks cool, but it's just gonna like
yeah,
there's no explanation there. Like I would have
uh,
started earlier in the evening and done something um thematic, used like 3 o'clock in the morning as the witching hour,
yeah.
something less random, but that's me.
Uh, but yeah, is so you only have 7 rounds to get everything done. But from the first round, you actually get these back on the fourth round. So, but you only get two of each. And what you can do is when someone chooses either the suspect, the room, or the item, you can use one of your clairvoyance tokens to decide to guess whether or not the player is correct in their choice. If your guess is correct, it increases your clairvoyance, and at the end of the game, when you get to revealing the culprit, it actually allows the ghost to reveal additional cards to you, additional vision cards to you, which can help you determine which character is really the true culprit. So that's one of the things that adds a little bit more strategy, is a little less abstract about the game, which is nice as well. And after so once all the players have deduced their own series of suspect, room, and item, then it's time to reveal the true culprit of the murder. And that brings us to the second phase where the ghost. So the ghost has the choice of the number, however many players there are. So again, saying there's 3 players plus the ghost. He has to choose one of those 3 sets to be the true culprit, the person that murdered him, 30 years prior. And then he's able to reveal additional visions. This time, though, there is a limit to the number of visions he can reveal. Starts off with 1, and then players with low clairvoyance can only see that 1 vision, and that's all they get. They have to make their vote in secret for which of the suspects they believe is the true culprit, just based off that 1 vision. Players with medium clairvoyance are able to get an additional vision and then make their vote. And players with high clairvoyance are able to see 3 cards total before they vote. So once everyone has voted, the votes are revealed. The culprit with the most votes is ultimately the one that the players choose. So it's a straw poll. If the players choose correctly, they all win. Even if there are some players that choose a different culprit, as long as the majority of players pick the correct one, the players win. If they don't, they lose. And that is pretty much the whole all of the game right there. So again, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that the art in this game is really cool. The abstract nature of it, I think, is really cool. Trying to figure out, it's like, what is this person going to see in this card, and how can I direct them to whatever element of the suspect or the room or the item or anything like that. So it's just trying to figure out those streams of logic is really interesting. Really makes you think.
Now, I had some questions. When you're setting up, um, it doesn't clarify anywhere I saw who gets to choose. Like, from what I saw, I did watch the tabletop playthrough,
Yep.
and it looks like you can just choose which character you are.
Yeah. I mean, the characters are just superficial.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to say about it. Like, unfortunately, like
Yeah.
in both versions, in the digital and in the tabletop, there's these well fleshed out characters as far as description.
Yeah.
But I do wish, I mean, the game has got enough going on in other ways, I guess, but I kind of wish it had some kind of mechanics, some kind of advantage, something different characters were better at. But I
Yeah.
guess then you'd have to just do something like make different types of clues for all of them, and that would make it unnecessarily complicated. But it's the kind of thing I really like in a game. I like to, you can find a character you can identify with, but then it doesn't mean anything after you pick it in this game.
Yeah. I mean that is one of the things is the fact that the yeah, like you said, the characters don't really, they're just superficial.
Yeah, it's
But
purely aesthetic.
yeah, I agree that if they tried to incorporate elements, now granted, I haven't actually. Uh, there are a couple expansions for the. I think there's one expansion on Steam for the digital version, and I believe there's two expansions for the tabletop version. I have not gotten a
Yeah,
chance to
hidden
look at those.
signs and secrets and lies.
Yeah, I'm.
Actually, it looks like hidden signs might be an entirely different game.
I don't know.
That just
I
might be the way it's titled. Either way, by the way, they
Yeah,
are all available on Prime.
awesome. Oh, but yeah, I haven't taken a look at those, so those might incorporate elements like additional elements like that, but I'm just not sure.
I mean,
But
because you could do it simply with you didn't mention the Raven mechanic that the Ghost has.
yes, there is a mechanic for the ghost where that's also determined by the difficulty that allows them to discard and redraw psychic cards, or their ghost cards, I should say. So
Which
if they're
seems fantastic and absolutely necessary. I can't imagine how frustrating it would be as the Ghost if you draw a bunch of cards and you have to give clues and just they're not. You
yeah,
can't
they're
even
not even
imagine.
remotely close.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
a card draw mechanic for being in that situation where you're the GM and they're completely off the reservation.
yeah, yeah. So like, give an example of like what how the difficulty is affected. On easy mode, you can do that once per turn. On medium, you can do that 3 times per game, and then on hard mode, you can only do it once per game. So, like we were saying, that if the vision cards for whatever reason are just not matching up with anything, you can just throw one of those ravens up on the screen, re- discard as many cards as you want, redraw back up to 7, and go from there. And hope that you got some cards that you can actually use. Oh,
See, is Asmodee listening? Because I have this like, I seriously in my head, I'm like, the game design stuff is popping in. Like, there's a numerologist guy, right? It would be a really easy mechanic to do something like for every if you have spent X number of clairvoyance points before your reset on fourth turn, you can choose X number of clues from the ghost, like a blind card draw, but based on the numerology. Like, I think it would be easy to make some simple mechanics just to give the characters one special ability, basically, like other
yeah.
games do sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. It would be nice to see that kind of variation for the characters. I'm just thinking that it'd probably be a lot more difficult to have it balanced out because you'd have to try to figure out how many different at least 6 different mechanics that you can manipulate with the characters.
But think about the fun stuff. There's a pendulum swinging person, like in the
Yeah,
tabletop. You could actually just do that, swing a pendulum, pick a thing.
yeah.
Sorry, dorking out. It
No,
is a good game, but
yeah. But I definitely recommend that, like we were saying earlier, if you play this game, it's best to play it with friends. If you have to play it online, do it with headsets, so you can actually. Although another thing that we forgot to mention is during the game, the ghost cannot speak or make any gestures because that would undermine the spirit of the game, and not just the ghostly spirit. I mean the game itself. Um,
I'd say
so
that's
yeah,
be the most incredibly infuriating position for for a lot of people. I guess some people are
yeah.
just of a mind of sit back and go, whoa.
Yeah. Well, for me, it'd be like, okay, which one of us talks the most and do we want to hear the least? Let's make him the ghost. But
Are you saying that's me? No way.
no, I'm not saying it's you. I'm just I could think of a couple people off the top of my head, but whatever.
It was super funny. Look at how Will Wheaton handled it because he cannot shut up. He's
Yeah,
definitely that guy, right?
yeah,
And he
yeah,
was very creative about being able to, because you still had to tell people when to turn them over.
yeah,
The way they ran it, I don't think you have to run it that way. You can just hand them to them.
yeah.
But
And I
yeah,
think
set
actually
the timer was the
I think
tricky
actually,
part.
yeah, yeah. I think actually in the rule book it says they're done face up anyway. So he was just doing it so that they did all at the same time.
Yeah, because that seems to me like that's a little failing in the rules that he overcame there. Because how are you going
Yeah,
to hand all those people at the table their cards and start a timer at the same time? Like that doesn't work. Either start the
yeah,
timer and hand it, somebody's going to get an advantage. So what they did is he handed out all the vision cards and then had to say turn it over, but he couldn't talk, so he would just like make up somebody that walked in the house and some
yeah,
like just fun. So any of you out there who just buy the game and want the mechanic to figure out how to do that, solution,
yeah,
role play.
yeah. But also on that note, I also recommend that if you want to see an actual playthrough of the game, the tabletop version, go watch Tabletop. Will Wheaton's Tabletop over at Geek and Sundry. They played this I think a couple months ago now, or at least when the video was released, and it's hilarious and it really does give a a, a just a good playthrough of the game. Give you everyone an idea of how it's played.
Well,
All
I'd
right.
probably just make the ghost be quiet and I would do it. I would create a mood that was more like a seance.
Yeah.
Like go ahead and take turns, the players, because they're supposed to be these psychics where they can make up something and say, all right, let's contact the spirit, and then turn the timer every turns their cards. Like maybe
Yeah.
create a spookier mood.
Yeah. And on a complete other tangent, this reminds me of when Zach and I and a couple of other friends had what we refer to as a pizza seance, which was literally us just climbing on top of a school and eating pizza.
Okay. That just is this pizza character in Hello from the Magic Tavern. Anyway,
Uh,
the other cute thing I want to say, I love the icons in the digital version,
yeah.
like the Ouija thing, and then these little like shears, like they're creative with the icons, and I love those little
Yeah.
touches.
Yeah. The UI and the system that they made is actually really good. Uh, yeah, it's just sometimes
Yeah, we all bought it. Can
yeah.
we play this together?
Yeah, we should. We should. That's just a matter of finding time to play it online is the thing. Hence part-time gamers. Anyway, uh, is there anything else you wanted to add? I think we covered pretty much everything.
No, I think we're good. Other than our assessment before the assessment, we recommend it, right?
Yes, we definitely recommend it. Oh, like we said, it's currently like $10 on Steam. Oh, I think when I got it, I got it on sale. I don't remember if it's still on sale or not. I think it. No, I think
Yeah, I got it on sale too.
yeah, I think the sale ended on the 24th. So, I'll yeah. So unfortunately, back up to full price, which is still pretty cheap for a game like this. So yeah,
Yeah, especially something that can and should be played co-op. Good
yeah,
deal.
indeed. All right. With that, all right. And since Zach is not here, you're going to be competing against a D10 and our higher and lower quiz. So, all right.
Wait. Must pour more wine. Quiz time. Okay.
All right. All right, going right into it. Question number 1. How many psychic cards of each category are laid on the table when 7 players play on medium difficulty? And the dice says 2. Is the correct answer higher or lower than 2?
Higher.
Yep, that was apparently very easy. Yeah, it's actually going to be 8 for 7 players. Medium difficulty, it's 8. Come on, do better, D10. Alright. Apparently I'm starting to get Will Wheaton's curse of rolling. Anyways, question number 2. How many vision cards are there in the game? And our range is in the 80s. The dice says 88. Is the correct answer higher or lower than 88?
You rolled an 88 on a D10. You're magical.
It's just in the 80s. I only do like a 10 number range.
Okay. All right.
But yes, I still rolled an 88 on a D10.
Max. 7 players max. What was the question? How many vision cards total in the game?
Yep.
Man. Less.
I say less than 88? That's correct. There are 84 total.
Barely made it.
Yeah.
I was just like, looking at game design and the pockets in the board, and like, that would be really unruly.
Yeah.
But there has to be a lot for it to be this good, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean those are all the cards that are just like the abstract pictures. So, and there's 84 of them. So there's, I don't know if there are any repeats.
And a tarot deck has like 78, so it had to be close to there.
Yeah. All right. Question.
It really reminds me of tarot, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 3. According to BoardGameGeek.com, what is the playing time for the game? And the range is in the 40s, and the dice says 40. Is the correct answer higher or lower than 40? Well, that is kind of redundant, but anyway.
You didn't do a good job of phrasing.
No.
If it's in the 40s and you roll a 40, it has to be more.
Yeah, if it's not 40 and that's incorrect, then you're really lucking out in these rolls.
Well, you should have maybe phrased that one differently.
Probably. I was thinking Zach would be here. Apparently he wasn't. Why am I whispering? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. maybe minutes would have been relevant, but that's okay.
Well, that's what it is. What's the playing time? How many minutes is it?
Could have been hours. I just read about a D&D game that's been going for 35 years today.
Nice. All right. It was less or more.
More.
Yeah. According to Board Game Geek, it takes 42 minutes.
And by 2.
Yeah. I don't know why it specifically is 42 and not just rounded to 45 like most people would do, but I thought that was amusing.
No, most nerds would round to 42.
Oh, right. Anyway. Alright, question number 4. In the rulebook, there is a letter from the Duchy of Warwick, Scotland, dated on what day in September 1922? The range is in the teens from 11 to, or from 10 to 19. The dice says 18. Is incorrect, and is the correct answer higher or lower than 18?
Oh my gosh. I remember reading this. It's on like the first page of the first letter in the digital one that I was just playing. I was gonna say 18. Lower.
Lower than 18? Incorrect. It is the 19th.
It was 19. Oh, I knew it was 19. Crap. Second guess myself. Always take your first answer.
Oh, yeah. All right. Question number 5. What month in 2017 was the digital version released. So January is number 1, 2, and so on and so forth until November of this year.
So you need to use a 12-sider.
No, because we're only into the 10th month of this year.
Oh, so it was this year. See, I didn't
Yes.
even know that. You're so smart.
Yep, it came out this year, but just what month did it come out? And
All right.
the dice says January, which actually is the correct answer, so never mind. Yeah, you got it right.
Yay! Everybody wins.
Yeah, it came out January of this year, the digital version. I think the tabletop version came out 2015, I think. I don't remember what month though. All right, last question. How many total psychic cards are there in the game? Now remember, there's 3 different categories. There's the characters, the room, and the item cards. The range is in the 50s. The D10 says 58. That is incorrect. Is the correct answer higher or lower than 58?
Lower.
Lower? It's correct. There are 54 total. It's 18 times 3. All right. And I think that was actually pretty good. I think you only got
Yeah, one wrong.
one
and
wrong.
It was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, you got a couple freebies there too, so whatever. Again, I was expecting Zach to be here and there to be a competition and not having to roll randomly. But anyways, I'll probably have to figure out some sort of better format for when one of you is not here for having to do that. Anyway.
Or just on how maybe use different types of die and form the questions differently.
I don't know. I'll have to work on it.
I think we should take turns making the quiz.
Hey, if you guys
So
want
you
to start
get to
making a
play.
quiz, I'm all for that. Because I've wanted to
We'll
start
see how
answering
Zach
questions. I've wanted to be
I
a
bet.
subject of the quiz. It's like
I bet.
yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Like I've run trivia, and it's like sometimes it's really frustrating because like you know the answers and they're being stupid, and like
Yeah.
you want to be on the other side sometimes. So yeah, I
Yeah,
bet Zach and
I would be all for that. All right, but with that brings us to the end of our show. Everyone, thank you for joining us. As we mentioned before, if you find value in our show and would like to support us, you can at patreon.com/parttimegamers, or by subscribing to our YouTube channel, or by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you'd like to contact the show, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or on Twitter at PTGcast. You can find me on Twitter at Searanex. I'm trying to do a little bit more on there. Still working on that. You can find me at Searanex or on Blizzard.net with the battle tag Searanex number 1996. You can find the show and the rest of my work at caffeineinducedproductions.com. Ember, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Nineof12. It's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch. My Blizzard tag is 9of12 number 1102, and you can go to geekgrills.com and find me there. And hey, I've noticed you're tweeting more. That's great.
Yeah, including my.
We all need to know about potty training.
Hey, it's an important thing to me right now. Okay, you know,
I get it,
being
man. I get it.
being a responsible
And there are
adult.
lots of gamers. We're there right now. Trust me. Well, I'm not, but I know some.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was really entertaining when I posted that. Anyways.
You can get suggestions to gamify it.
Gamify potty training. Jeez.
Totally sticker charts. I'm telling you, sticker charts. For them stickers, and then that's in their head. That's you gain enough stickers and you can buy some stuff. It's gamifying. It's just
That's
analog
hilarious.
gamifying.
Yes.
Hey,
Well,
I did it. It worked.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to my wife about all this. I think it'd be hilarious. Anyways, until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers clocking out.